I've seen so many people struggle with the new Murmur disruption, so I'm here to make your life easier. Now a disclaimer, I haven't done a solo level cap yet, but I've gotten to around 27 comfortably, where enemies are about level 800. Since this mode really is much slower compared to your regular disruption, I decided to call it there. Whoever is psychopath enough to do a 3 to 4 hour run solo for a cap, well, be my guest. Remember that these demolysts can't be armor stripped and they have damage attenuation. Similar to the Archon, and they have a status cap, which means you can't just kill them with 1 gazillion slash or hit procs. This is why it's much harder than your regular disruption. I'm not saying this is the best strat out there, this is all still new and requires more testing, but it is very comfortable, you are immortal and you shred the demolysts really quickly. So how it all works? We use Trinity. The most important thing here is the lowest duration as possible. And since we don't really care about efficiency or range, we will shove all the mods to build more strength. And why our stats are so weird? Because of our second ability, Energy Vampire. This is gonna be the ability that will practically single-handedly kill the demolysts with a bit of setup. But because of the damage attenuation, it will not just straight up one-shot the demolist, but it will just take a couple of casts depending on the enemy level. Sometimes I managed to insta-kill it, but it was not very consistent, and if I'm being completely honest, I am not even exactly sure why it was happening. Apart from the full strength mods, we have Rolling Guard, which will give us invulnerability and help us shield gate. And Vampire Leech, which is the thing that makes us immortal, giving us overshield every time we use our second ability. If that wasn't enough, Energy Vampire also refills your energy to max whenever you use it. That's why we don't need flow or anything else for energy. Sprint boost and rush to make us faster, cause nobody wants to do disruption and be slow. If you want to use growing power or prime sure-footed, it's allowed, but be sure to put some yellow parkour shards. The helmet can really be whatever you want, but remember that we have limited options since our duration is very low. In this case I decided to use Taro Strike, we will use it purely for the Acolytes. For the Arcanes, we have Multi-Augmented for more strength, and Arcane Fury, which will give us more damage on melee. This is pretty much a flex slot, so feel free to run anything else if you have something more useful in mind. And for the shards, we have 2 yellow for cast speed. In case you don't want to use these, just use Natural Talent instead of the least important mod. For our primer, we have Epitaph. Just go viral with multi-shot, fire rate, status chance, and range. You will use it right before you start spamming the second ability against demolysts, and for trash enemies when you get to higher levels. Also, one important thing, lockdown does not work, so you can't directly stun the demolist, but since Epitaph has forced cold perks, it will be really useful. And I know I'm getting very original with having a Glaive equipped every single video, but it's just that good. Standard Glaive build, nothing special here. Remember the faction mod, it's very good even if there is no prime version yet. Dispatch Overdrive to go together with our other speed mods, and melee retaliation will be particularly useful considering that we can keep our shield very high most of the time. And then we have Torid, which will help us with DPSing. Again, nothing special here since radiation is good against Necromech, we have radiated reload, and we have a faction mode once again. Remember the primary dexterity since most of the kills we will be getting will be from our Glaive. And for the evolutions we have these. I don't see any reason why you would choose anything else, only one that sometimes changes is the final one, where in some specific situations you want to take the crit chance and status chance instead of only crit chance. The school we use today is Madurai, from where we get even more strength and more cast speed, which will help us stay mobile. Well, let me show you how to DPS the demolist. Just remember, you want to be really quick. The faster you do damage, the less resistances the Necromech will get. So shoot your Epitaph and spam your second ability. In between the casts of Energy Vampire, you want to shoot with your Torid. The funny thing is that you kind of confuse the damage attenuation if you use different kinds of damage. It doesn't have enough time to adapt. Whenever you lose your shield, either use your 2, if there is no enemies around, use your Rolling Guard. Now the bad thing about this disruption is the keydrops are very poor, the conduits can be separated ridiculously apart. Getting to level cap is pain, and not only because of the demolists that are hard to kill, but also because it takes way too long compared to normal disruption. And having more people in the group didn't really seem to speed up the mission, or it was very minimal. Honestly, it was fun, I liked it, but I really hope they do something to make the flow of the mission faster, especially since there is not really any arcanes you can buy with the new currency. Once you buy everything, that's just it. That's all for today. If I come across new or better ways to do it, I might make another video or have an update here. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe, maybe leave a comment as it helps me greatly with the algorithm. I will catch you in the next one.